let us take the first case of distinct real eigenvalues. So let us say we have to solve this system of linear differential equations, x1 plus x2 and x2 dot is equal to 4x1 plus x2. So let us take each step carefully and come up with a solution. Let us take some initial conditions as well. So okay, we will see that at the end. Let us just leave this without the initial conditions so that we can have a form of general solution. So first we write this in the matrix form. You don't need to repeatedly do these steps, but they should be in your mind. So the determinant of x1 and x2 is going to be equal to 1, 1 and 4, 1. They should be in order. X1 term, x1 coefficient first, x2 coefficient second, x1 coefficient first. If they are not in the order, you bring them in order first and multiplied by x1 and x2. Once again, this is our x dot, the a, and this is x, but we know what they are. So let us try the solution to be xt equal to v e raised to the power lambda t. So because we know this is a solution, we have this eigenvalue problem that the vector a multiplied by v is equal to lambda v, and we know the determinant of a minus lambda I has to be equal to 0. And what is this? We saw that it was equal to lambda square minus trace of a into lambda plus determinant of a equal to 0. So once again it is lambda square minus trace of a is 2 lambda, and determinant is 1 minus 4, which is minus 3, equal to 0. So we can see that minus 3 plus 1 are the two roots or the factors. So lambda minus 3 lambda plus 1 is equal to 0, which gives us two eigenvalues. Lambda 1 is 3 and lambda 2 is minus 1. And we know now that for each eigenvalue we need to find the eigenvector, and in order to find the eigenvector we need to solve this, that is let us call the eigenvector related to this v1 and the eigenvector related to this v2. So let us take lambda is equal to lambda 1, that is 3. So a v1 minus lambda 1 identity v1 is equal to 0. We take this to this side, or a minus lambda 1 I to v1 is equal to 0. Okay, and here a is 1 1 4 1, lambda 1 is 3, so we are going to get 3 3 0 0. We can do this in one step, we don't need to be this elaborate. So let us say this v1 vector has this first element of say 1 and this second 2. This subscript does not match the way we write subscripts in matrix, because the first one shows the row and the second one the column, and this is basically I have used this to show that it is the vector v1, and this is the first element, this is the second element. So please pay attention. So this is equal to, this 0 is a matrix here, just for you to know. This is a vector as well. So what do we get here? 1 minus 3, which is minus 2, 1 minus 0, which is 1, 4 minus 0, which is 4, 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. So if you closely look at this thing, you will see that these values and these values are dependent on each other by a scalar multiple. So when you multiply minus 2 by minus 2, you get 4, and when you multiply 1 by minus 2, you get minus 2 minus 2. So these value this row is a scalar multiple of this row. It is therefore important that you cannot generate two independent equations from this relationship. So only one of the rows would be needed to come up with the relation between v11 and v12. So minus 2 v11 plus 1 into v12 is equal to 0. We don't need to write the second equation. Why? Because they do not form two independent equations. So what do we do now? When we have two variables and we have only one expression possible, then the best we can do is to find v11 and v12, the two values, how do we describe that? That we can find the values, the actual values may be a multiple of those values, but we can find those base values. So let us assume, so let v11, the top one, be 1. We are assuming it straight away, and then v12 would be equal to 2 v11, which is 2. So this implies that the vector we are looking at, the eigenvector, is 1 2 when lambda is 3. And similarly, if we do the same steps for lambda to be minus 1, then we can see that 1 1 4 1 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 multiplied by v21 and v22. We also write matrices in this way as well. This is also a valid matrix notation. However, let us stick to our notation of the matrices. So we are going to get 1 plus 1, that is 2, 1 minus 0, that is 1, and 4 plus 1, 4 plus 0, sorry, 4 minus 0, that is 4, and 1 plus 1, that is 2. Once again, you can see that the second row is a multiple of the first row, so we can again not get two independent equations. So one equation will suffice, 2v21 plus v22 is equal to 0. So assume v21 to be 1, then v22 is equal to minus 2, which implies that v2, the eigenvector, is 1 minus 2 for lambda minus 1. Now, knowing this, we know the general solution is xt is equal to c1, some scalar depending upon the initial conditions, into v1 e raised power lambda 1 t plus c2 v2 e raised power lambda 2 t. So what I skipped in the last part is for you to understand that this means that x1t would be equal to c1 and the first element of v1. So in here we have a value 1 and e raised to the power lambda 1, which is 3, and plus c2, the first element of v2 is 1 e raised power minus 1 t, and x2t would be c1, the second value of, so we get 2c1 e raised to the power 3t, and second element here is minus 2c2 e raised to the power minus t. This is meant by this single expression where v1 and v2 are vectors, so this is vector, x1 and x2 can be found. However, if we now know the initial conditions, we can easily put in here and find what is c1 and c2. So suppose the initial conditions were x1 at 0 is 1 and say x2 at 0 is minus 1. So I'm just randomly taking the values. So this means that x at 0 is 1 minus 0, a vector, and that would be equal to c1 and a vector 1, 2 e raised to the power 3t plus c2 and vector 1 minus 2 e raised to the power minus t. So if we now, this is x0, so t would be 0 in here, e raised to the power 0 is going to be 1. So actually we found that c1 1 2 plus c2 1 minus 2 is equal to 1 minus 1, and we can easily see that we are going to get two equations here. So let us get or in fact the direct values. So c1 multiplied by 1, this one means we get c1 and 2c1 and plus c2 and minus 2c2 is equal to 1 minus 1. So we get c1 plus c2 is equal to c1 plus c2 is equal to 1. We could have written directly from here as well. However, if we are dealing with a larger system, we would, this was just to describe what does this mean. So we can always make an initial condition vector as we have used here and just equate this with it, and then we can elaborate it in this way. c1 plus c2 and 2c1 minus 2c2 is equal to minus 1. However, this is actually not the real use of these matrices. How we can convert this whole thing to the matrix form of in the same way. However, it's up to us to use whatever way to solve this. So here we can see that C2 is 1 minus C1. So 2C1 minus 2, 1 minus C1 is minus 1, and 2C1 plus 2C1 is 4C1, and minus 2 goes here, becomes plus 2, so that is plus 1. C1 is 1 by 4, and C2 is going to be 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4. So we have a full solution. I hope you have grasped how we have done this. And here we could have converted this whole thing to a similar way. So you see, C1, C2, C1, C2 can very easily, because from these two equations we could have written, let me just occupy some small part here to describe this. We can use matrices to write this. So we can write this as 1, 1, 2, minus 2, and C1, C2 is equal to 1 minus 1. Then we could employ matrix algebra, matrix mathematics, and find what is this vector equal to. So this would be some vector, say D. This matrix, this vector may be C, and this vector may be maybe say E. So then we can multiply this by the inverse of D on this side and the inverse of D on this side to get C equal to the inverse of D into E. This was what I meant by solving this whole thing using matrix mathematics as well. However, it's up to us, since we would be dealing with two differential equations, a system of two differential equations, or three at most. Therefore, we can solve in ways that we find convenient too. I hope you can understand how distinct real eigenvalues can be used to find the eigenvectors and the full solution based on the superposition.